little bit because I get to see all of you that way. And the topic given to me is faculty-student interaction, enhancing teaching and learning. And I'm so thankful to the organizers for giving me a sense of direction as to how I channelize my talk, which pretty much encompasses the entire life of a teacher. So they gave me some pointers like best practices for mentorship, feedback, and fostering a positive learning environment. And I think mentorship, feedback, with the right amount of faculty-student interaction, with proper strategies planned, will automatically lead to a positive learning environment. So all these aspects put up as a title keep coming in and out during the presentation in various forms. So before I begin with, I'd like to thank Dr. Mookambika and her team for having me here. You people can, host another conference on guest host interaction. You were simply amazing hosts, brilliantly organized event, very meticulously taking care of every fine detail and amazing hospitality. Thank you so much to the entire team for having me here. And then I'm humbled, honored, and grateful to be here, just to be seated along with these people in this table here today. Over there is my teacher, Swaminathan sir, the man who, with another stunning professor, Dr. Shantaram, changed the way I looked at learning medicine at all. Sir, it is thoroughly a great honor for me to be here in front of you and do this talk. Thank you so much, sir. And then Dr. Sanjeev, Dr. Thomas Chokho, Dr. Tejinder Singh, people who do not know me, but people who I knew so well from the days of my post-graduation till date, attending one lecture after another of theirs and slightly, reaching somewhere to stand in front of them and deliver this talk. My gratitude to each one of you for having inspired me so much. Thank you, dear sirs. Our greatness comes when we appreciate each other's strengths, when we learn from each other, and when we lean on to each other. So here we are, beautifully seated in round tables as small little groups. Not because that's the ideal way to arrange yourself in a lecture, but that's a beautiful way to learn from each other, look at each other, lean on to each other when you don't know something, and pick up yourselves from there. And I think there is no greater power on this earth than story. The speaker before me, the beautiful stories that he told us would always linger with us as memories, and we would probably learn more from the slides than from the stories. So let me begin with an activity called Story Chain. I just want to know if the presentation is seen on the screens over there. Yes, lovely. So the story chain activity goes on like this. I can see that you are 6 to 7 people at least in each table. In the next slide, I'll be putting up some 5 or 6 prompts. Okay, these days we've all become successful prompt engineers using AI, but this is not, this is using our natural intelligence. So I'm going to put up some 6 prompts. You can choose any prompt that you like, but quickly choose it because the entire activity would be about 3 to 4 minutes. Pick up one prompt for your team, and the one person starts by reading the prompt. The next person who is sitting next to him, clockwise or anti-clockwise, builds up the story from a line just with one sentence. Then the third person, using the first 2 sentences, builds up the third sentence. And if you're 6 people, the 6th sentence should be the completion of the story. Have I conveyed the activity correctly to you? So just look at the various prompts. For example, the first prompt is, I entered the classroom and found almost half the class empty. So this will be if suppose you are choosing this prompt, one person will read this sentence. The next person will build the story. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, the story is completed. Please start. You have 3 minutes time. Choose a prompt, turn towards your group and start interacting and frame the story. Yes, please. Any prompt that you like, any prompt, but you should start. By now you should have chosen the prompt. One person reads the prompt and continue the story. No, you do it with your group. Yes, you do it and you finish the story there. No, no, no. You don't have to present it to me and there is no best story here. Amongst yourselves. Anyone you can choose. You don't have to do it to me. You don't have to present it. You will just do it in your group. Can I start it for you or have you started? Oh, lovely, finished. Okay. That's the shortest story, I believe. Okay. Is the story over? Okay, so I assume the story is over already. Okay. So I am really interested, I'm really curious to see the storytellers, but then I need some time for my presentation. So did you enjoy making the story? Did you make the story? Okay, so we had one shortest story there with 3 people. So you enjoyed making the story. Lovely. So, setting the tone was what I did right now. In a faculty-student interaction, you need profound icebreakers and set inductions. Because the moment you have a set induction or an icebreaker, you break the hierarchy, you lower the hierarchy, and you make both the faculty and the students co-creators of the learning experience. All of you, it was so beautiful to watch you from here. Each one of you looking into each other's eyes, talking, smiling, giggling, and then reframing the statement. So there was a lot of active listening and open-mindedness, and each one of you was trying to add your own twist to the little story that you were creating. It stimulated collaborative learning, and such or any similar set induction sets the tone and the relevance for what you are going to talk for the rest of the session. It activates the prior knowledge, it frames the expectations, and it also gives a roadmap to the learner to be engaged for the rest of the session. Okay, so now I would like you to pull out your phones for a minute and scan the QR code and try to answer this one question. Please listen to the question carefully. What are your expectations from me as a faculty? So for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be your faculty and you're going to be my students. Let's assume that way, okay? So if I were the faculty, what are your expectations from me as a faculty for the next few minutes or the 30 minutes? Not on the delivery of not on the content of my lecture, because I've already prepared it. Expectations on the delivery of my lecture. How would you want me to deliver this lecture? You can take the context that you are in a medical education conference, the time left behind, another 30 to 35 minutes left behind, and the environment that we are seated today. So please scan the QR code, and once you scan it, if you let me know, I'll go on to the screen to project your responses. You're able to scan it. It takes you to an app. It takes you to the word cloud, wherein you just need to type 2 or 3 words or 1 word, your expectation from me as a faculty during this lecture. Have you done it? Scanned it? Okay. So then I'm going to show you the page where your responses are going to be projected. Okay, someone wants the presentation to be digestible. Okay, I will try. Interactive, fun. You want a very interactive presentation. You want it to be informative also. Okay, please go ahead. Okay, so these are all your responses. You want to feel rejuvenated. I shouldn't make you sleepy. It should be fun. It should facilitate your learning. Enjoyable. Lovely. Thank you so much. If any of you are typing, then I'll wait, else I'll move on. Okay. So what I basically used here is an application called Mentimeter. It gives you a multitude of options to enhance faculty-student interaction in a large group, where they seemingly pull out their mobile phones once in few minutes, whether you want it or not. Might as well make them use the phone to be engaged with you rather than with themselves. So, tell me if this bit of information helps you. I have about 30 slides with activities and hoping that it would be a lot of fun. The duration of my presentation, 40 minutes. I think I've already used about 10 minutes, so it's going to be another 30 minutes. And I have a promise to make that I will finish on time. But there is a mandatory requirement from each one of you that you would actively participate without any judgments. Is that all right? Okay, lovely. So what have I basically done in the last few minutes in the context of faculty-student interaction is that I explored an application called Mentimeter, a way to play along with the students while they learn. So play the game in the way they know. Find their expectations. So I found your expectations as to what you want me to do in the next 30 minutes. So find the expectations of the learner. Keep them informed. When you keep them informed, you foster a sense of responsibility and develop mutual respect between the faculty and the student. Stick to what you commit. I have committed 30 minutes, and so you need to start a timer of 30 minutes and let me know so that I can finish. And when you respect the time of the learner begins to respect the time of the faculty also. So, now, all of us are aware of the concept of think, pair and share. Here we are not in pairs, we are in teams. So I slightly modified it to think, team up and share. Now all of you have been given lovely yellow notepads, multicolored notepads. Please pull it out. As a team, one person can take the responsibility and write down, just write down all possible strategies that you have used for faculty-student interaction. Only one of you will write. All the others will only speak. One person can take the responsibility to write. All the others can quickly tell the person who is writing. Let's see who comes up with the maximum number of faculty-student interaction strategies. What are the various strategies or techniques that you have used to enhance faculty-student relationship? Please go on, start talking. One person writes, other people add to the list. Yes. Yes, we'll have, sorry. You can decide how all did you interact, as small groups, as large groups, during a classroom, during an 8Com session. The choice is all yours, but whatever strategy that you employed, just list it up. I mean, you could have used a quiz, you could have used a small group discussion. Okay, so you can take another 30 seconds more to complete your list. So can we just hear it from you? There is a mic on each of your tables. Can you just randomly, tell me what are the different strategies? Two strategies from each table, please. Yeah. Yes?
Role playing.
Role play.
And anecdotes.
Role play and sharing anecdotes. Personal experiences. Beautiful. From this table?
Ma'am, quizzes.
Quizzes.
More model making, video projects, games.
Two each, so that everybody has. So video projects. Okay. Please keep your mic ready. Do not repeat what the other person has told. Yes, two strategies from here. Yeah, from this table, two strategies.
Problem-based learning and clinical scenarios.
Problem-based learning and clinical scenarios. From this table, yes. Any other strategies that we have not discussed so far? Mentoring, okay. Through a conversation, one-on-one conversation. Okay. Anybody else? Any other strategies? Yes. Lovely. Grievance box, hands-on workshops. Two ends of the spectrum. One where you do not, in reality, interact with them, where they have given a private space to come and deposit. And the other one where you are with them, engaged in it. Beautiful. So, think, pair and share, think, team up and share is one way of quickly breaking the monotony of the class and having an engaging faculty-student interaction. And by using flipped classrooms, case-based discussions, problem-based learning, hands-on workshops, what you actually do is you enhance the student participation or the learner participation, which is exactly what happened here. You were forced to participate in the activity. So, is faculty-student interaction only for learning or beyond learning? Okay? So, that is when I step into the realm of exploring, mentoring and feedback. So, let's begin with feedback. This is something my former dean taught me, and ever since I have been stuck to this concept of feedback sandwich. So, when a faculty and student interact in the event of sharing a feedback, they ask us to use the feedback sandwich technique. Very simply put, on the internet I saw it is good bad and good. But who are we to say what is good and what is bad, isn't it? And then I saw a very interesting picture which says kiss, kick and kiss, okay? Basically what they're trying to say is the top layer of the bread and the lower layer of the bread is talking about something positive in terms of feedback to the student, while the middle layer, as you can see here, the cheese is the objective assessment of the student performance, where you can discuss the marks scored, the percentage of attendance. These are the things that we generally discuss with them during a mentor-mentee meeting initially on the objective note, and then also give them suggestions for areas for improvement. It beautifully says identify areas of improvement and sources of concern, but don't make it bland. Give actionable tips too, and send them back with a reinforcement of what went on well with them and what could be done better in the future days. So, summing up, feedback in my view pertaining to faculty-student interaction, feedback must always be a two-way dialogue process. The previous speaker beautifully explained how you go on to narrate your own history and how we, not only bore but also disappoint, and sometimes we even discourage the learner. So it should be a two-way process with active learner engagement, timely and specific feedback. So immediate feedback makes a lot of difference to the learner. So here comes the certifiable skills and the formative assessments that we do, wherein we give immediate feedback and actionable strategies for improvement. Psychological safety boosts feedback effectiveness. Keep the environment warm and conducive, and an environment that can earn the trust of the learner or the student so that he or she can sit in your cabin without any disturbance and share their concerns with you. Feedback literacy is essential. So train the learner and train the teacher in terms of how to give feedback, how to take feedback, what to expect in a feedback session, what can be shared, what is beyond the boundaries, both in terms of feedback and mentoring, has to be taught to the student and to the teacher, to the mentor and to the mentee. So why do we mentor medical students? Please pick up your mic and any just one sentence. Why do you think we have to mentor them? Yes? The mic is in your table, on your table, right in front of you. It looks like this. Yeah, so why do we mentor medical students? This is the problem with open-ended questions randomly directed to a large audience. Okay, so any one of you, can you please volunteer to answer, the question, define circulatory shock? No one will volunteer. Most of the times, there are a few children in the front row who, share some empathy with you. This lady has been screaming for a while. Why can't I at least try to answer for some time? So the take-home message is use of open-ended questions must be very carefully done. Even though it is open-ended and open to a larger audience, okay? Define circulatory shock at least is a close-ended question, open to a larger audience. But here I asked, why do we mentor medical students? And to a large audience who is seated over a larger space. So it becomes difficult. Effectively learn to use them or do not use them. So who can be a mentor? This is something, the moment we see this picture in our phone, we all start getting a bit, jittery. What is the change now? What is he asking us to do now? What is he asking us to change now? Oh my God, now I have to go and make the entire table in the reverse way. I'm sure even though, you don't overtly smile, I'm sure you relate to my concerns here. I feel we need to explore on what a mentor can do, especially if you're playing the role of a mentor to a few mentees. Being in the preclinical year in physiology, and as I rightly pointed out at the beginning of the session, to me the wow factor of medicine was introduced by Swami sir actually. So as preclinical and paraclinical year faculty, we can introduce the wow factor, spike up their curiosity when they are with you. And then as they move on from the second year to the internship, student doctor training or shadowing becomes an inevitable part of their everyday life at college. So help them to see, think and wonder. When they share their reflections, be patient and open-minded and do not push aside anything as silly, known cliche or stupid. Because once you listen to them, it causes an increase in confidence and self-preparedness as a learner before they start independently. Now, as far as observerships and shadowing, especially to undersubscribed specialties, I'd like to run you through 2 examples. Now, before I go to the examples, I also want to introduce the term hidden curriculum. That is when, I want you to remember at the start of the lecture when I spoke about all these teachers here, they didn't know that they were teaching Prathibha. But I was learning from them. And so that is hidden curriculum, unintended lessons that are learned but not taught. Mostly in the realms of professionalism and personal development. Sometimes we learn what to do, and sometimes we very profoundly learn what not to do also. So I'll just like you to spend maybe 2-3 minutes and quickly run through this one, and I have another testimonial to share from 2 undergraduate students who have completed their undergraduation. So first is Niveda Pillai. She's a junior. She wrote this when she was a junior resident in plastic surgery. So after her internship, she went on to do a 6 months observership in the Department of Plastic Surgery. She felt incredibly welcomed and warm. Apart from the enormous practical skills and knowledge, she learned how a department should ideally function. She enjoyed the freedom of speech, which did not have any workplace hierarchy. And I witnessed how happy and whole everyone was, irrespective of the longer working hours and unexpected increase in workload. And that quality is something I wish to take back with me and hopefully put into practice someday. So this is what Dr. Niveda Pillai, who performed her observership for 6 months in plastic surgery, had to say. Followed by Dr. Gayatri, who is a junior resident. She did her observership in the Department of Pediatric Surgery because she always wanted to become a pediatric surgeon. So she says she is greatly indebted to the surgeon who took her on rounds, teach in detail about the approach and management of each case. And apart from teaching about the case, she found the way he interacted with patients to be very inspiring, and the mentor had also given her immense confidence and encouragement in her areas of strengths. And she says when we get first-hand experience to work with someone who has crossed the difficulties already and learn from their experience. So this is something I want you both to consider. Both of them are successful pediatric surgeon and plastic surgeon, one in the US and the other in the UK, currently completing their residency, looking forward to meet them someday. But they say this is something that as faculty, as a preclinical faculty who taught physiology, they reached out to me. And this was a little step that as a department we took in starting this observership in less known specialities where they could go and work, have a try, figure out it will suit them, or take a back seat if it is not going to suit them. And fruits of mentoring, when you see them do well, is extremely very rewarding. So, what have I done here to all of you as a faculty is that I have shared anecdotes from my experience and from my students' experiences. Sharing your experiences, one of them beautifully put it as anecdotes for faculty-student interaction, can be very, very encouraging to the student. Okay? So, a mentor is not someone who walks ahead of you to show the way. It can be someone who walks along with you also. But does it always have to be you? Should it always be you? A hall full of teachers, so we can openly answer. Should it only be you? So this is when I want you to read these 2 testimonials very quickly. Akshaya, 2021 batch, so she's just currently in her internship, but she gave me this testimonial based on her first year experience. So I mean, when she came up to me with certain difficulties, I connected to her, to Dr. Shreeman, who had already finished MBBS and was pursuing his MS in orthopedics. So she had a chat with him and found out that she could talk both academics and non-academic problems like travel time making her tired. She didn't have to worry about the impression she was making because it was a senior and not her faculty, and so who she fears a lot. And I'm unsure if she is unsure if I'm completely getting the right details because it is only her senior and not her faculty. And this is Jeffrey, who came up to me telling me, ma'am, is marks important or is understanding Guyton important? This was the question he came up to me with. And I connected him to Dr. Anish, senior to him by 5 years, who came to me 5 years ahead with the same question. And so they had a chat, they could relate to the struggles, and it felt more like a friend than a mentor. So here I'd like you to note the concept of near peer mentoring, where fellow students, the current NMC guidelines is trying to aim that, establish a sibling kind of relationship. We do not know how far it would go, but then it has the pros of having a friend as a mentor, and it has the cons of not all medical students are ready to mentor everybody else. So when they are selected, self-selected or selected by the faculty, generally it turns out to be beneficial. A little activity to break the monotony now. Pull out your notepads. Now all those of you who wanted to use your notepad and I stopped you from doing it, I'm sorry, I'm giving you an opportunity to use your notepad now. Pull it out, draw a circle. Please draw a circle. Don't ask me any questions. Just draw a circle. Now I'm going to ask you to create an object in 30 seconds using this circle. But it is not that easy, or it may be okay, you know. You cannot draw a sun, a flower, a smiley, or a ball. You can draw anything else with this circle. Draw a circle and draw something out of it, and now pick up that mic and start telling me what you have drawn. Anything. That's why I told you don't ask me any questions, because there are no rules. And when there are no rules, you should utilize it, actually. Generally, I get questions like, is it a small circle or a big circle? Is it one circle or two circles? Can I draw one within the other? Do whatever you want, but only the rules are that you should not draw a flower, you cannot draw a ball, you cannot draw a sun or a smiley. Yes, now shoot. Okay, clock. What else did you come up with? A cylinder, okay, with the face of the cylinder, okay. Lovely, that's beautiful. Why don't you just lift it up and show? Oh, there is a catty there, okay. Another, it's a cat or a rat? Okay, it's a teddy, okay. You cannot draw a smiley, but is it a person? Okay, so we'll consider it a person. Okay, there's a person who's come out of that. Any other, yes, please. Okay, is that a cracked, okay, a cracked egg, okay. Look, that's a snowman. Okay, the balancing stones. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so this is a yin yang. Okay, beautiful. The sign of balance. Okay, can I call this first aid or Red Cross, something like that, a symbol for that? Anything else? Anybody wants to tell me, please? An apple, lovely. Keeps the doctor away. Okay, but not going away, sir. An ice cream, lovely. Okay, there's, okay, it's a cat. It's a cartwheel. Okay, anybody else? Okay, there's a little toy, or what is it? Okay, a chicken. Okay. What is that, sir? House, scenery. It's a painting. Yes. Itself. Okay. A donut. Beautiful. Sorry. A chocolate. Okay, lovely. You don't know what it is, an abstract painting? Okay. Love. Okay. So now why did I is to tell you feedback and in mentoring. Okay, I need to come closer to move on this slide. Okay. Promoting inclusive practices. Okay, so we have a earth or a globe, okay. And the number 2 itself generated from circle, minimalistic, right, lovely. So this is to tell you that each one of you came up with your own idea. How can you have one strategy for feedback, one strategy for mentoring for all the 250 or 150 students? One size does not fit all. Take into their learning styles into consideration, take their disabilities into consideration, take the sexual preferences, socioeconomic status, family problems, promote inclusive strategies. Speed mentoring, this is something like speed mentoring. We took up one concept of mentoring and feedback, and we have small tables we are going around. The other way of doing speed mentoring is at the end of internship, if they want to choose a career, we can put one specialty in each table and the students can go on a timed mentoring visit to each table. Every 10 minutes with a surgeon, 10 minutes with a physician, 10 minutes with an oncologist, 10 minutes with a basic sciences teacher. Speed mentoring in 1 hour, you cover a set of students moving in small groups. So for various. The last but not the least is reverse mentoring, where you must be willing to learn from your student, where they can teach you what's new while you can share your fine wisdom. But I must agree, I had a lot of challenges in the last few minutes with all of you to break through and to convey what I wanted to convey. So it isn't easy with 250 or 150 students with high ratios, lots of students and less faculty. Time constraints with the entire schedule being packed in 11 months. Technology gaps, they have the phone all the time with them. There is a huge screen out there blocking you and they're busy watching what's there on the screen. And a generational gap. So I have continuously aged, but I continue to teach first MBBS students. And the gap between me and them has largely widened, and it isn't easy. It tests my patience, it tests my physical stamina, and I must be accepting of it and try to find ways. So one last activity for which I'm not going to let you sit because I've been standing for 30 minutes. So I thought I'll make you also stand for a little while. So please stand up, move around, and go to a person who you don't know. Please move around from your table. My time is ticking, so you need to help me. Move to a person who you don't know and stand facing the person. Sir, can you come to me? 1 minute. Stand facing the person. My dear people, are you with me? Can I give the instructions? Oh, I didn't ask you to go around and chit-chat. I just asked you to go and find a person. Okay. Yes, can I give the instructions? Please raise your hands or give me a thumbs up if I can give you the instructions. They are not listening. Yes. I didn't ask you to talk to the strangers. Please raise your hands and listen to me. Okay, so this is something that I'm learning from this session. I should give the instructions and then I should have asked you to get up and move out. Okay? Fine. So you're going to stand across a stranger like this. One of you will be A and the other person will be B. Okay, so choose. One of you is A and the other person is B. Have you chosen? Discuss quickly. You are A, I'm B. Okay. Now, what A will do is talk to B and introduce your whatever you want to talk to B. And B will listen and respond. B will not ask questions. B will not ask questions. Okay. A will talk to B. B will listen. B can respond. B can react. Okay. So for this, I need the help of a timer. We are going to give you 45 seconds to do this. Look into the eyes of the person and do it. Okay. Start. Find a stranger, please. You both can do it if you're not strangers also. Okay, so we'll stop now. Stop. A continues to be A and B continues to be B. Now I want all the B's to listen to me very carefully now. A will continue talking to you. A will continue talking to you, but you should not react. You should not respond. You should not smile. No talking. Have a still face and keep looking at them without any emotions. Still face, no reacting, no responding, no talking. A, continue to talk. 30 seconds. Shall we stop? Is it uncomfortable? Okay. Thank you. Please get back to your places. So that was the last part that we did. Thank you, sir, for choosing the child over there. Beautiful. So what we just did now is known as the still face experiment. Okay, shall we settle down? It's not yet time for coffee. They will let us know. Okay, so what we did now is Dronik's famous still face experiment done about 50 years ago. So he was a psychologist who did it between a child and a mother. And it was so beautiful to witness. I didn't expect this, but it was so beautiful to witness Sanjeev sir and Treyambika have the still face experiment. So it's so beautiful that I had a child to go through this also today. But what was explored out of the investigation was that it doesn't just apply to a mother and a newborn, that it applies to every interaction that happens. Can any one of you tell me who acted as the A? Who acted as A? How did you feel when B started responding, kept a still face, and did not react, did not respond? How did you feel? Can you tell me? How did you feel, ma'am? Okay.
I felt not valued.
She felt not valued. Okay. Anybody else? How did you feel? Yes? Yes, sir?
He was not interested in hearing me, and I thought he is not hearing to me. He has some hearing problem.
He thought initially it is like he's having some hearing problem, and then he also realized that this person is not interested in what I am talking. Any other feelings that went through you if you were an A? Stopping the conversation. Okay, so she felt like stopping the conversation. Enough is enough, okay? Any of you felt uncomfortable? The other person on the opposite side not responding, did you feel uncomfortable? Yes, no? You were okay with it? Not okay with it, right? So this still face experiment can be converted to the experience that is being present in our learners with a mobile phone right in front of them. We may assume that the mobile phone has something moving in it, but what the mobile phone lacks here is an eye contact, is a communication that lacks personal involvement. It's basically a still face on the other side. So we are dealing with a large bunch of learners who go through still phase experiments for many number of hours in a day. Still phase experiment is said to provoke sadness. Sometimes it even promotes aggression in children when they are not heard. Very rightly said that she did not feel valued. He very beautifully said that someone is not interested in me. So I would like to finish with a message that to promote faculty-student interaction, to ensure that proper mentorship, feedback happens, and to create a positive learning experience or an environment for the learner, we should have actionable strategies. It should not stop at the level of being your wish or your dream or your vision or goal. It should be broken down into simple actionable strategies on a day-to-day basis in your classroom, in your mentor-mentee interaction, in your small group interaction. And then, having chosen to interact with students, make the commitment to connect with them. Do not be still faces to them. Having chosen to be in a medical college, you've indirectly chosen to be a teacher, and therefore, it becomes your commitment and responsibility to connect with the learner and lead by example and end up inspiring them more. Is it easy? Nothing has ever grown without discomfort at all. And it comes with practice, it comes with a commitment to do so. But the big question is it worth it? And to me, in the last 15 years, it has been totally worth it. Thank you one and all for your patient listening. Thank you, sir.